Hello, beautiful, amazing, fantastic world, and you, wonderful, wonderful individual. Today, I would like to speak about the divine hierarchy is always willing to assist us if we, well, ask them to. Of course, when you do ask for the assistance of the higher worlds, one do need to hold a certain humility and reverence and gratitude for whatever they are willing to assist us with. For by holding oneself to an inner capacity for love, compassion, and understanding, they will enhance these capabilities so that we can hold oneself sturdy and strong to a certain inner moral standard, an inner moral harmony. It's the best word for it. For when one goes inward and sit within one's own inner being, one comes to get to know oneself and one's own inner emotions and also thoughts, of course. But emotions is also very much important to, well, direct. One cannot work directly up on our emotions, but through our thinking, through our imagination, through our active, pure thinking, pure thought forming, we can also, well, participate with our whole being, also with our middleman, our emotions. When we do participate with our emotions, we enliven whatever we do think, for morality and love comes from the heart. And when you think with the heart, and now I'm not thinking that you think down here in a sense, but you send up spiritualized, etherized blood to your brain that makes you think with love. You infuse your thoughts with morality. So instead of you just thinking willy-nilly and having our thoughts just scramble and run everywhere and having no direction to them, we every day, well, polish our ability to think and use our own inner thought faculties and, well, abilities for thinking so that we can, over time, develop our ability to feel in a healthy way. For feeling has a whole lot to do with our health. Love is some of the most healing forces you can hold in your being. So your state of being is important every day, every moment. Of course, we do hold our whole life on us right now. Every moment, every action, every experience we ever have gone through in our life is, well, on us. It is part of our being. It is part of our karma in a sense. So from what we do today forward is often also what is indicated towards future dispositions in other incarnations, you know? So the more we do work upon ourselves and also wishing to, well, bring inspiration and creativity to the world too, and at the same time having a wish, a longing to work with the higher hierarchy through the heart, through compassion, through the warmth that they truly support us with. For one need to hold that. Thank you. Thank you so much for helping and assisting us and keeping us strong and foundational within our own inner being so that we can share that inner state of being with others. And, well, in general, trying to be of as much help and as upliftment as possible, but at the same time holding oneself strong in passive resistance to the backward spirits and so on. And when we do hold our emotions calm and clear, and at the same time participating with them, you become much more acquainted and you get to know your own inner being. You get to know the emotional world, the thought world, the world of the will, or the will impulses that plays and works within our being. And when you get to see that within yourself, you see that within others too. And then it is, what do you do with that? Are you misusing it, or are you using it for good? For the more you know and the more developed you are, the more it is important to develop our character, our moral character, and our values of dignity, human decency. For if you fall for temptation, the higher development you go, the lower you fall. It is obvious. It is, for the more damage you do if you fall for the temptation of dabbling in things you shouldn't. Stick to the safe path, the path where you are actively and consciously, consistently being thorough and awaiting the higher hierarchy's assistance instead of trying to force, using shortcuts, or any of these types, for they are all the willing to help us, but at the terms of when things are ready for us. We need to show ourselves in a constant active aliveness through our own inner being and show them that we are willing to accept their assistance. For when we meditate every day, when we use our thinking every day and directing our thought towards something that might help or might assist the world, we do assist the world, for we are not isolated alone. We are all embedded in this earth development, and everything we achieve as abilities and faculties of our own inner being is also what will be achieved in the etheric later. It will be part of all of mankind. So the more individuals that awaken to their own development, and that means your own development in relation to all of mankind, for you cannot separate yourself away from mankind. We all work towards redeeming ourselves and mankind, humanity, womankind, mankind, you get my drift. Humanity, human first, individual second. And well, they are just as important, holding both of those. One do not lose oneself away from the world, and one do not get crushed by the world. One hold one's own individuality at the same time as one knows we are in a whole, in God's world, in the Spirit of Christ. For He is the Spirit of this world. He is this life. Every life on this planet is the Christ. And this warmth you feel from that and knowing that we have such beautiful beings that are willing to assist us and that are willing to show and to gently, but also sometimes uncomfortably, guide us through experiences and inner thoughts and inner directions that might help us grow as individual human beings in relation to humanity. For the angels and archangels have already gone through their human stage, so they already know these things we need to learn esoterically. They are enormously wise in that area, and by listening a little and awaiting inspiration, it just might come. It just might stir some good old love in you. For that warmth, that love is enormously healing. Because it holds forgiveness, you let go of burdens and heaviness and all of these things, even fears that otherwise might cripple and crawl up into our being is no longer holding sway, for you fill your being with love, with faith, love, and hope. And you already feel those words. They are loaded with the future. They are loaded with looking towards the future. For even when the physical falls away, even when the physically perceivable falls away, we will still be here. We will still be spiritual. So we will never disappear. And that is why we cultivate our own inner soul spiritual faculties and forces. For that is what will be important. And also study spiritual science and the proper concepts so we can maneuver within this world in a spiritual way. So that we do not become confused, but actually have a direction. For the more you do this, the more sure you become of your direction. It is kind of the grace you are given by doing the work. And you will come to know what you are good at, what you yourself can do for the world. For we are meant, every individual, to wake up to our own personality and ego and spirit, but not to always direct it towards ourselves, but directed towards the hierarchy, to imagination, to cultivating objectively the proper inner forces, so we can perceive the world as sublimely and as spiritually and as truthfully as possible. And that requires practice and training. Over, slowly and steadily wins the race. Slow and steady wins the race. For it needs to be thorough. Thorough means it will stick. Thorough means it will be our part of our being moving forward. So until things stick, we practice. We dedicate our time to understand these things. And this is what I will leave you with today. Thank you so much for listening. I will have a weekend break, so we'll see you after the weekend. May you be protected, guided, blessed, and loved by Father, Holy Spirit, Christ, Michael, ancient masters of all, ancestors from every incarnation. And may you be provided for with all that you need to survive, live, thrive, and being creative and inspirational, and a healing force to this world so others can be the same, if they choose to. Thank you so much. Love you. Goodbye.